Hey guys, do I tell like it is? If you saw today's game and you don't think football's rigged, then there's no hope for you. I'm asking you, please wake up. Because it couldn't get more obvious after today. And after last year as well, with what happened to Bayern Munich. It's not limited to Juventus. There are many victims of UEFA out there. And I've said before that Juventus had zero chance of winning the Champions League this year, that they're supposed to end the drought next year. Everything happens for a reason. Everything happens for a reason. Everything does. First of all, notice that Real Madrid advanced after losing 1-3 to Juventus. I've said before that this Champions League campaign ending at Madrid this year is meant to be. It's a sign of bigger things to come. They'll mention that in the first team documentary of Juventus on Netflix. But 1-3, that forms a 13 years ago from the 2019 final, which is set to end at Madrid. Juventus would end its Champions League campaign next year at Madrid. They would set out to end it at Madrid next year. Ending their campaign at Madrid this year would motivate them to set out to end the campaign at Madrid again for next year. This is pretty ironic as it is right now. But 13 years ago, from 2019, Gianluigi Buffon won the biggest international honor of his career, the World Cup. Funny how I'm predicting Bayern Munich to win the Champions League for this year. This World Cup was played at Germany, by the way. No doubt a German team would have to win the Champions League this year. Italy won this World Cup. They beat France in that World Cup. As I've said before, they're meant to beat Paris Saint-Germain next year in the Champions League final. Oh, if Carlo Ancelotti goes there, then you can bring it on. Or Antonio Conte. An Italian's going to take over Paris Saint-Germain. I can assure you of that as well. But 13 years ago, Gianluigi Buffon won the World Cup. 13 years from the 2019 Champions League final. 13 is a lucky number in Italy. As I've said before, it is no coincidence that the campaign ends with the score of 1-3, Real Madrid to advance to number 13. This connects to next year's Champions League. Now Juventus, they have their new logo you see right there. This was the first year under their new logo. And it takes 13 games to win the Champions League. They played a total of 10 games this year. So the Champions League final for next year would be Juventus' 23rd Champions League game to end a 20-year Champions League drought. Two things come to mind for 23. English, the end of a drought, end equals 23. And the fact that it is Mason in Italian, Massone in Gematria, that equals 23. Juventus Football Club wears the Freemasonic black and white stripes. Freemasonic Club. Buffon wore the same goalkeeper jersey today, signifying death for this year's campaign. An end to this year's Champions League campaign. All scripted by numerology, people. Gianluigi Buffon gets the red card you see right there. This red card was completely scripted. It was completely planned in advance. The aggregate score was 3-3. Both teams won their 33rd league titles last year. This is just truly how scripted these games are by the numbers. Mandzukic, 37th minute goal, 3-7 in final next year. Blaise Matuidi, the TV said he scored a goal in the 61st minute. That's a lot like the final on June the 1st, 6-1. And Buffon being thrown out in the 93rd minute, a Saturn ritual, time. Saturn is the keeper of time, Saturn 93. Time equals 47 as well. I think Saturn equals 47. But definitely something going on with Gianluigi Buffon his scripted red card happened for a reason. It signified what was going to come for Juventus in the 2019 Champions League final. Gianluigi Buffon got replaced by Wojciech Szczesny. Szczesny wears number 23. He came into the game today to try to save the penalty, the 7th goal of the tie. Ronaldo scores, how scripted it was that he scored today. But Szczesny, number 23, comes in to replace Gianluigi Buffon, a sign that this year was not meant to be for Juventus, that the 23-year Champions League drought would end next year for Juventus. Funny how his birthday, Szczesny, is 7 days from now. The 18th, the 11th, 7 days later. 2-7 record in the Champions League final, about to turn 28. Buffon and Gematria equals 28. Number 23, a sign for what's to come next year. Buffon's scripted red card. But I'm sure you may ask, well, is he going to be the goalkeeper for next year? The answer is going to be no. Number one, Gianluigi Buffon, this red card today would be a similar end to World Cup qualifying, where Buffon is motivated to keep his career going to not end on such a sour note. But Buffon does not know about the plans for next year. The higher-ups, whether it be Juventus or UEFA, will keep Buffon from retiring if that's what he has in mind. The higher-ups will tell him that it's going to be rigged for Juventus to win the Champions League. Next year you have to stay and complete what you were set out to do in the 64th Champions League. Buffon equaling 64. Dybala not in this game. Definitely a sign for what's to come next year. Higuain will be looking to score at Madrid next year. Higuain failed to score. Higuain wears number 9, as you see right here. Higuain wears number 9. 23 is the 9th prime. He and Dybala to score in the final next year. This tie was a scripted joke, but it's going to be payback for Juventus. UEFA is going to reward Juventus and pay them back for what they did to them in this game today with the rigged and the terrible red card that they gave to Gianluigi Buffon. A complete joke call. UEFA Madrid at it again. Bayern Munich with the terrible red cards against Real Madrid last year. They're getting paid back with really easy draws against Besiktas, Sevilla, and soon to be Roma in the next round. All the calls will go against Real Madrid in the Champions League final this year. Fans hate Real Madrid around the world. They are sick of seeing them win. Bayern Munich, the big clue for them is Arturo Vidal, the former Juventus midfielder. Arturo Vidal with Bayern Munich, he's going to win the Champions League this year. He was born on May the 22nd. He was born on May the 22nd. That is also the date of the last time Juventus won the Champions League final. 1996 Champions League final was won by the Bianconeri on May the 22nd of 1996. May the 22nd. That is Arturo Vidal's birth date. Bayern Munich is winning the Champions League this year. He wears number 23 for Bayern Munich. He's going to lift up the Champions League trophy this year. And Arturo Vidal's number 23 is going to be a major sign that after winning the Champions League next year, that the Bianconeri will be champions of Europe once again. That the time will come for the Bianconeri to lead the way in Europe once the days of Ronaldo and Messi are behind us. So a rigged game today. Buffon is here to stay. He won't retire. If he's even thinking about retiring, then the higher-ups will tell him, you are not going to retire. You're going to win the Champions League next year. And all things happen for a reason. And, as I say, fino al fine, To the end as always.